I'm Chinese. Can we please stop this trade war?
Hey, so thanks so much for the question. And I'll say Chinese people are fairly unbothered. The ones I've talked to about the tariff situation, they're already pretty heavily invested in the rest of the world. So the US is not really their main concern anymore. And while they'll still do a lot of business with the United States regardless, right? We kind of, as Americans, we depend on China. They've made all our stuff since I've been alive. And you can kind of anticipate that China has well prepared to weather the storm of any type of tariff, to where, again, we need them, I think, more than they need us. So that's just my opinion as an American and looking at the market here. I did talk to a few of my friends as the tariffs started to come out just to see how are your businesses doing and what are the exports like. And they were pretty open with me on their thoughts on the tariffs. The other thing they'll bring up that's important to note is that the US president only lasts for 4 years. So they're really used to changes in policy from the United States standpoint. And they only have to wait 4 years until the policy changes again. So it's kind of like a back and forth, and you just kind of play the game by the rules, the current rules, that is. So that's kind of the view from the Chinese side that I know. And guys, that's just my opinion. I can't really tell you, like, I'm not running a full-on export business out of China, especially one to the United States. So I can't tell you exactly how it feels, but that's what I've heard and kind of what I've seen over here. Everyone's unbothered, and they'll just make jokes about Trump. So hopefully this was helpful. Shows you a side of China you wouldn't otherwise see or hear. Cheers.
Hey, remember when I said things in China aren't as perfect as they look? Well, here they are. China's central bank just cut interest rates again. Why? Well, because United States tariffs are hitting harder than they want to admit. I mean, factories, they are slowing. Consumer demand is down. And now their government is scrambling to pump cash into the economy. You know what? That's not confidence. That's damage control. And according to reports from the Associated Press and the Wall Street Journal, China just injected over 1 trillion yuan, about $138 billion, into their financial system. You know what? Not because they're winning, but because they're losing momentum fast. And yet we keep hearing from people online, especially from inside China, that America is the one that's fallen apart, that Trump is bluffing, and that the United States just doesn't matter anymore. You know what? Let me ask you this then. If the U.S. doesn't matter, why is China suddenly ready to restart trade talks?
Like us, the ordinary people, the working class who getting hurt the most. Before the trade war, finding a job in China was so easy. My family and my friends all had a good job. Now many of us are unemployed, struggling, and on TikTok I see my American friends cutting down the flowers. Tear is in their eyes, you know, because they can't sell them. So tell me, what is this all for? Why do we have to fight this stupid trade war? Can we just sit down and talk? I know many of my American friends are watching this. We are not talking about politics. We are just ordinary people. We don't make the decision. We just want a better life. Is that too much to ask? No. Stop this stupid decision. Oh my God, those rich people, those powerful people don't care us.
Do you want to know why there's a trade war between US and China? It comes down to actually one single thing. In China, if you want to start a business, like many companies that has business there, like giant Apple companies like General Motors, you name it, Tesla, you have to pay taxes. Yeah, you have to pay taxes. In fact, there are very strict requirements you have to do, not just paying taxes, but you have to create infrastructure for the people and the workers you hire. So, for example, if you build a building, an office building, you have to also build a school, a hospital, and also the police station and a community, an apartment buildings, all of that. You can do it directly, or you can use other channels to, like, third party to build them for you through your taxes. And a lot of American companies don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, that's why there's a trade war, an agreement. Yeah, that's why. And that's why, like, there are countries like Luxembourg, Ireland, and other I would say, tax-free countries that American corporations or many corporations set up their headquarters there. So they don't have to pay taxes. Now you know.
I know you're still digesting what you've heard from the previous clip and wondering if it's real. Chinese are here. They will tell us in the comment section. So moving on, you might be wondering, for those Chinese who are unbothered about the trade war, what is guaranteeing them of their safety to the point of being unbothered? How did they move on so fast? Because it takes time. Get new customers, it takes time. And what you're about to hear from this next clip will even prove to you why is that the Chinese trust the government even more than other countries.
No one in China really care about the US and the trade war. Believe me, what we are really care about is the upcoming 15th five-year plan, which will be released next week. So every 5 years, China releases a national blueprint, a roadmap that tells every city, every factory, every person where the country is heading next. It's kind of like a secret weapon or special system that helped China transform from a poor agricultural country into the world's second largest economy, a journey that took developed countries centuries and without fighting a war. Basically, if you want to bet on China's future in the next decade, don't just watch the stock market, watch the 5-year plan. That's where the real roadmap is written.
China's economy is shifting and big changes are ahead. Today, China's third quarter economic data and the Central Committee meeting is happening on the same day. This week is massive for the future of China's economy. So let's look at the data first. China's GDP grew 4.8% in third quarter. It is the slowest in a year. Retail sales slipped to 3%, and the property investment tanked by 13.9%. But don't panic yet, because right now over 300 top leaders in China are gathering for the Central Committee's 4-day meeting to plan China's next 5 years. So that means big decisions ahead. Experts expect China to double down on economic securities and tech like AI, semiconductors, and biotech. They are not slowing down on these sectors. On the economic front, they are focusing on boosting consumption and targeted policy support to counter the slowdown. And don't forget, experts are also expecting a potential Xi-Trump summit at the end of this month. Could this change US and China relations? We don't know yet. And China's next moves are about to unfold in this week. So if you want to stay ahead of the game with all the latest news, don't forget to like and follow my TikTok account.
The new plan covering 2026 to 2030 is especially important, and I will tell you why. Because China aims to achieve modernization. In other words, it could become a developed country. So this plan will set the tone for the final sprint. A 5-year plan is like a living playbook, turning big national goals, big national plans into the practical actions. 5 years at a time, from Beijing to small towns, from high-tech industries to everyday life of ordinary people. These plans guide China's direction. So starting today, I'll be posting a series of videos to break down China's 15th five-year plan, what it means for development and where the next opportunities lie. So follow me for more perspectives from the East. I'm Kelly Tang, your Chinese economic insider. Talk to you later.
I have to say, I admire China's stamina and maturity. You see, China is like a tree, a very mature tree with over 5,000 years of history. It's still there, it's still standing with maturity. And not just maturity, wisdom also. And for that, the world should be grateful. Anyway, have a look outside my window. That is Xi'an, my hometown. I have to say, I love China.
Yo, all this back and forth between China and America when it comes to tariffs and trade is purposeful. These are the two largest economies in the world by far. You have the consumer capital of the world in America and the manufacturing capital of the world in China. They need each other, that much is obvious. And they both know that. So they're not going to do anything that's going to be detrimental to their own interests. They're in communication. Like, don't be naive, guys. Every decision they make is extremely calculated, and they communicate more than y'all think. To be 100% honest with you, it's all a show.
They're both communicating, they know what they both want, and they're helping each other out in a way that y'all don't know. They're trying to manipulate the global market. As the two most powerful countries in the world, they know they have the most influence. So yes, working together, and I said it, working together, which sounds hard to believe, is actually more in their best interest, because they have the most effect on how the global market is going to react through the decisions that they make, and they know that. So this is all purposeful, this is all planned out, this is all calculated. When they're making these decisions, trust me, they're consulting one another, because they know the wrong decision from either one of them could cripple both of the biggest markets in the world.